after an offseason where Tom Brady left the Patriots, in case you forgot, Katie, do you believe Aaron Rodgers when he says he wants to finish his career with the Packers?
It was a weird, fluctuating time for some endings, right? We didn't know what Drew Brees was going to do, and he just told us, I'm going to end in New Orleans or I'm going to be done. Phillip Rivers, all of a sudden, he's not going to be a Charger anymore. That's going to end up being weird, and you get into one of these situations beyond Aaron Rodgers. Cam Newton at 30 years old, all of a sudden isn't going to get the ending he wants at 30 in Carolina. So Aaron Rodgers is sitting here and saying publicly, I would like, and this puts pressure on the organization, I'd like to finish up here. You know he's not going to be welcoming to somebody young coming to take his job. So he's telling you now, it is my desire to stay here. I just wish that he would want to go somewhere else, because I would love to see Aaron Rodgers with those weapons that he just got Tom Brady in Tampa Bay. I would love to see Aaron Rodgers with guys that you haven't seen him with when all they get him is sort of broken at the end, Jimmy Graham. I'd really like to see this guy outside of Green Bay at the end of his career with more talent that he's had in Green Bay.
Yeah, it's easy to look at this sample size of other quarterbacks that are kind of in the same situation and try to use that to deduce anything about whether Aaron Rodgers is telling the truth or not. But when you think about it, that's like a very small sample size when compared to all of the people in the world. So if all of these guys react differently to this same situation, that actually makes sense. I have no idea if Aaron Rodgers is going to stay. Even if you extrapolate it out to athletes, we've seen like Kyrie told Celtics fans, I'm not going anywhere. And then he bounced. Like, you don't really know. And Aaron Rodgers might not know. He might be expressing that, like, deep in his heart of hearts, he would love to finish in Green Bay. And I think if you had asked Tom, he probably would have said in his heart of hearts, he would love to finish in New England. But there's always a but. If it isn't viable for him, if they're not going to get him the guys that he wants, if they're not going to pay him enough, there's all these other reasons that are like, I would have loved to, but I can't. So yeah, I think Aaron Rodgers does want to stay. I think that makes perfect logical sense. I don't think it tells us anything about whether or not he's going to stay and end his career in Green Bay.
Yeah, would is a conditional statement, right? And so if these things fall into place in a certain way, then that's the place that he wants to retire. I wonder what the chain of circumstances would have to be for him. So like John Elway, for example, John Elway walked on a Super Bowl. Like, he realized it was never going to get better than it was on that day, and he decided to go ahead and keep it moving. We never got to find out how much John Elway was actually going to have on the back end. We didn't get to watch John Elway fall apart like we've seen so many other dudes fall apart, like we might watch Tom Brady fall apart. We didn't see that with him because he got out early. So the question for Aaron Rodgers is, when the Packers are done with you, are you going to be willing to walk away? Because that's the only circumstance under which he's going to be able to retire as a Packer. Just like everybody else who retires in that place is when that team says we're finished with you and you look up and say, okay, I'll stop. But if you're not done playing, then you're going to wind up somewhere where you look a little funny in the jersey.
Dan Marino, going back a ways, he had an offer to go to Minnesota at the end. He had not won a championship, but his last damn game, just like the pick six in New England ends the Patriots' career of Tom Brady, his last game in Jacksonville, they lost 62-7. He was tempted to go fix that in Minnesota. He had the job offer. It would have been a good job with, incidentally, receivers like Randy Moss and Chris Carter on the way. And he said, nope, I got to get out of here. I can't do it. I'm not going to break down in front of all of you. You are not people that I trust with that vulnerability.
Yo, didn't the whole team, that Jimmy Johnson, he was out after that game too, right? Like everybody was gone.
62-7. That was so funny. I remember Fred Taylor is running for a touchdown. And I'm like, that's the fastest human being I've ever seen. And then Jimmy Smith catches him from behind. Like, it ran 80 yards on like the first play.
By the way, to a team that had only existed for like 5 years.
Oh my God.
Sorry, Katie. That's the last time.
No, that's hilarious.
That's the last time the Dolphins mattered before the Patriots took the last 20 years.
Ay, ay, ay.
I'm going to go get with my wife. Love you guys.
Whoa, chill, Dan. We don't need to know that.
See you later.